Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to you, welcome back to me. It's been a minute since I was able to film a video. If you follow me on Facebook or you have seen some of my other videos, you know I'm a caregiver for my grandmother and my aunt. And it's just been super hectic. It's a 24/7 job. Um, they've been getting their COVID vaccines. My grandmother's going with something she got a little lump in her neck. We got to get that checked out. My aunt was recently diagnosed with dementia. I already knew there was something going on, but we have a definitive diagnosis now. So it's just been a lot. And so if you're tuning in for the first time, I want to say thanks for stopping in. And if you stumbled on my channel, cool. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you like random stuff. Just sometimes I talk about fragrances, sometimes I do a shave, and sometimes I just ramble on. So tonight I'm gonna do a challenge shave that in one of the groups or several of the groups that I'm in on Facebook, we've been doing little challenges for each other. This is one that I set up, and I'm way behind on kind of catching up with these. So I'm going to do one tonight, I'm going to do one tomorrow, and do one the next day, and kind of try and catch up. So tonight is the one that I set up, which is what I'm calling the hashtag there can be only one challenge. So it's choose, if you could only choose one of everything for the rest of your life, what would it be? So I had to think about it a little bit, and this is what I came up with. So I'm going to start off with the hardware. For my face shaves, I would choose this vintage Klaus Fremont straight razor. And the reason I would choose this razor, it's not, an especially crazy looking razor. There's no really fancy custom scales. It's vintage. You can see very, very mild pitting and things on the blade. I purchased this off of eBay for $15, and the reason I would choose it is because, for one thing, the old vintage straight razors are fantastic. They're well made, and the steel holds up over time as long as it's treated right. And this razor could easily last me the rest of my lifetime all by itself. The next reason is because I hunted it down and found it myself on eBay for super cheap. And the third reason is because yesterday I started honing razors for the first time ever. I bought all of the supplies I needed to get started. There's a whole nother rabbit hole you can go down with honing razors. But I bought the basic stuff that I needed: a set of stones, synthetic stones, but they're good. They're quality stones from Shapton. And, I got a loop so I could look at my edge. I have a strop already. Just some basic stuff. So I felt confident enough to start honing, and I did the edge on this. This was dull like a butter knife when I got it. And now it is a fantastic shaver. I used it last night. It shaved great. I was really, really happy about that. And so it kind of holds a little special place for me now, because this is the first razor I ever bought and honed and made shave ready again for myself. It was, a little bit tarnished and a little bit rust, and I cleaned up that all up myself, and it looks great now, Very usable. The scales are in great shape. It lines up just perfectly. Closes nicely. This is a great razor for $15. So that's what I'll be using for my face shave. I'll throw this in there. I'm not going to do the head shave on camera tonight. It'll just make the video way too long. But for my head shave, I would choose my Gem Damascene razor. This is a fantastic razor. I've fallen in love with the Gem razor in the last week or two since I got it. I love the thick, rigid blade. The steep angle that you need to use this razor at makes it very efficient. It's got a fair amount of blade exposure. good blade feel, and most of all, it gives fantastic shaves. I get smooth, great shaves every night. I need to shave tonight. Shaved last night. Just barely got the stubble coming back. But this razor does a fantastic job, and it's easy to use. It's quick. It's smooth. I get a great shave every time. For my brush, excuse me, I got a little tickle in my throat. It's been bugging me all day. Maybe allergies. I don't know. But for my brush, Chisel and Hound. This is my first Chisel and Hound brush that I ever bought. This is a what he called a butterscotch, and it's got this really beautiful gray color at the top, which, if you can see, is it's got some sparklies kind of mixed in there. In the light, it's just gorgeous. It's a really beautiful brush. There's texture and swirls in that butterscotch, and I think the camera's picking it up pretty good. So this is a beautiful brush. This is a V10 Fanturion knot badger hair. These knots that Rob puts in these brushes are fantastic. Top of the line. Great brush, great knot, fantastic craftsmanship. I love Chisel and Hound brushes. One of my favorites. This would be the brush I would choose. Moving on to the software for pre-shave. If you follow me on Facebook, you know I love the Star Jelly Prickly Pear Pre-Shave from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. This is the mentholated kind. I would choose the mentholated kind because with menthol or no menthol, I would choose menthol. I like that cooling effect. It's really nice. This stuff is great. Then for the soap, I would choose, this may surprise people, Shannon's Soaps Rust Belt Reserve Indigo Oud. So this scent for me is just sublime. There's no other way to describe it. It's perfect. Shannon sent me a sample months ago when I first started shaving, and I ordered one of her soaps. I got a sample. I wasn't expecting it. I tried it. I fell in love. I messaged her like, when can I buy this? It's not on the website. She let me know that it was still being developed and hadn't been released yet, and it would be released in the summer. And so when the drop happened, I ordered it the day it dropped right away, and I'm super happy I did. This is just the best scent. It's so perfect. I love it. I could wear it every day, year round, and never get tired of it. Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. It's masculine, but not, it's something that I think could be fairly, mass appealing, but in crowd pleasing without being pedestrian and boring. It's very, very well blended. So the notes in this are blackcurrant, bergamot, leather, tobacco, ambergris, vanilla, sandalwood, and oud. And I definitely get those base notes real strong. The vanilla, the sandalwood, the oud, the leather comes through for me real good. You get a hint of that tobacco. The ambergris, is a nut, like a sort of it's a blending and fixative agent, and it adds like a marine, like a salty type of a quality, I think. Don't get a ton of it. It's there. I think it's lending to the other scent notes blending together. And then the blackcurrant, the bergamot at the top are very light and just kind of uplift the whole fragrance just a bit. It's fantastic. And if you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend you check it out. So on another video I watched from Silky Creamy, he was talking about the layers that can form in some of these soaps. So you can see that the color change from the bottom to the top of this tub. And he was saying that he scoops all the way down. I'd never done that before. I never thought about it. I'd always just scraped off the top layer and put that in my scuttle. But on the off chance that there is something to that, to those layers behaving differently as far as the shave goes, I don't know if that's the case or not. I'm not a soap maker, but I started doing that. I scoop all the way to the bottom. And you can see I've used a fair amount of this soap already because I love it so much. It's just so good. I have the matching splash, so that would be my aftershave splash that I would choose for this. Balm, Star Jelly. Star Jelly is my go-to balm. Love it. Rarely do I shave without it. Unscented, because it goes with everything. But if there was a Indigo Oud Star Jelly, like a crossover mashup, oh, that would be the best. It's not going to happen, but it would be awesome. And then just a quick, special thank you to Shannon and Brian. I'm sure that they're a team, so Shannon knows how much I love this scent. I've expressed it to her several times. I questioned her about whether or not she had plans to start adding EDPs to her lineup so that I could get matching EDPs for some of her scents. Unfortunately, she let me know that there's a lot of red tape involved in that. The alcohol licensing and things like that make it difficult to get into that side of the industry. Hopefully she will get to that point. I would really love for there to be a full line of products that I can match up with the soaps, but she graciously searched around and found a very small decant of Indigo Oud EDP, and she sent it to me. And I just want to say thank you, Shannon. That's very, very nice of you. This will be used very sparingly on special occasions because it's small and it's special. It's not available. You can't buy this. So I feel very honored to have received that. And I just wanted to say thank you. So getting down to business, I'm going to load up this brush. And get to work. Since I'm doing a straight razor shave on camera tonight, I don't know how much talking I'll be doing, so hopefully the latter half of this video isn't too boring for you guys. I guess if you're new to straights and you want to see somebody else who's new to straights and still learning shave with a straight razor, you might find it interesting. But I've only been, wet shaving with DEs and safety razors and things for 7 or 8 months, and straight razors about 6 months, maybe 7 months. About 7 months, I guess. And not every day. It's been sparingly, building up my skill level with it. And finally, I've gotten to the point where I can actually complete a shave with my straight razor and feel that I've gotten a good shave and not have to go back with my DE or something else to finish it. Hopefully that's how it goes tonight. We will see. Hopefully this video doesn't run too long. I don't know, how long it'll take me. I don't rush through my shaves in general, but especially not with a straight razor. Rushing is not something you want to do with a straight razor. It's, only going to lead to blood, and we want to avoid blood. So I just put some of that Star Jelly Prickly Pear Pre-Shave on. Nice amount of menthol in that. Feels good. Smells good. I like to rinse my straight under running water, so there will be periodic running water in this video. We're going to build our lather. Ooh, that menthol's in my eyeballs. We're going to wet and start lathering. I like the face lather. I like the way the brush feels on my face. I like to build that lather. I feel like I get a better lather and better coverage when I face lather as opposed to bowl lathering. These Fanturian knots are just the perfect balance of backbone and soft tips, so they're very comfortable, but you get the perfect scrub without any like scritchy, as they say, scratchiness. So it's really comfortable and not irritating to my skin. Excuse me. So, nice leather, creamy, super creamy leather. Smells just ridiculously good. Sorry about that. I got a tickle in my throat. It's been bugging me all day. So, really nice lather built up. I keep a piece of alum close by so that I can rub my fingers on it, and helps me get grip so that I can stretch the skin better. I really apologize for all the throat clearing and coughing, and it's super annoying to me. It's got to be annoying to you guys watching. I'm sorry about that. So we're going to go with it. I've been practicing both hands because depending on which direction I'm going and what part of my face I'm shaving, it's useful to be able to use both hands. I watched some videos early on, and a couple of guys were like, learn to shave with both hands with your straight razor. It's important to be able to get those areas that are trouble spots for you. So that's what I do. So getting started, you want to go 30-degree angle to the face. Angle is very important with the straight. So hopefully I get that good the whole way through. So I am right-handed, so I'm right-hand dominant, but I find that there's a lot of spots that I really have to use my left hand to get. So going across the grain on this side, the grain on my face goes kind of that way, so I need to go this way, so it's easier to do that with my left hand. All right. Going okay so far, but the cheeks are the easy part. When you get into the chin, jawline, and the neck is when it gets a little trickier. So You know, and I can say that if you're interested in trying out a straight razor, my biggest piece of advice to you is don't let the straight razor psych you out. It's just a blade. You're already, you know, if you've been using DEs, you've been putting sharp blades against your face this whole time. This thing looks intimidating, but it's just a blade. So if you get the angle, go slow. It's definitely not as scary as it seems once you get into it. The first time I was terrified, but and the other thing I love about straight razors, the quality of the shave is unrivaled. Once you figure out your grip and, you know, your growth pattern, how to be able to, you know, get the grains on your growth pattern, you just can get some fantastic shaves. That chin area is always the trickiest spot. You know, it definitely takes a little bit of finesse around the chin, because that chin is, you know, it's round, so it, you know, and you got to go at it with this big blade, so it really takes, and you got to pay attention to the angle and your growth pattern. And I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but you're applying, like, you know, very, very light pressure with the razor. You're not digging in, you're not trying to like push on this razor. That's how you'll cut yourself. So one pass down, and I gotta say, aside from, like, this is always a trouble area for me, a little bit under the chin here, and just along this jawline here and here. Those are always my trouble spots, even with a DE. But that's, you know, not a terrible shave already. It's pretty close. The cheeks are pretty much BBS. There's a little bit there, but we'll get that down. But it took a significant amount of hair off. God, that soap smells so good. I'm not even kidding. Like, I could just. That's why I chose this as my There Can Be Only One. It's just such a phenomenal scent that, I think it's my favorite scent, even in my. Like, I have not a huge scent collection, but I have, quite a few bottles of colognes and EDPs and extracts and stuff outside of wet shaving, because I'm a frag head. I just love fragrances. I haven't been into it that long, but into collecting that long. I've always loved fragrances, but this is easily niche quality blending and fragrance perfumery, in my opinion. If Shannon released this as an EDP, I would buy so many bottles just so that I could have it vaulted and never run out. So now this is where it gets a little trickier, because I have to change my grip so I can go against the grain, and that gets tricky. Alright. Takes a little while to get used to that other, to hold the razor this way as opposed to this way. I mean, it's a similar grip, but you're kind of pinching between the fingers. You do have a finger wrapped around here between the scales and the neck, the spine of the blade, so that it's a solid grip, but okay. So learning to use the toe and the heel, depending on where you're trying to shave and your grip and everything, can be a little tricky. So just be aware you don't have to hit every spot with the entire length of the blade. This is where it's just a little bit trickier for me, trying to figure out how I want to hit this area, because really the hair, to go against the grain, I got to go this way, and it's very difficult to do that with a straight razor. So you kind of end up doing like these sort of diagonal across the grain strokes. And then down here I got a big cowlick, like a total swirl, so getting it in every direction takes a second. You got to kind of hit it in several different directions. But what I learned is, if you just do several passes, you eventually knock it down. Like, it's just gone. Each pass gets a little smoother until there's just nothing there for the razor to take down, really. And another thing I learned from Douglas watching I'd Lather Be Shaving is don't chase BBS, because sometimes when everything's hydrated and the follicles have absorbed moisture and soap, you know, oils from the soap and all that stuff, you'll feel like there's stubble there when you go against the grain in some spots. Once you've applied your aftershave and everything and let your skin dry out and the follicles go back to normal, everything recedes a little, and then you'll notice, wow, that's actually smooth, and you have that BBS shave that you were chasing the whole time, without irritating your skin, getting ingrown hairs and all that stuff. So pretty good. You can see just the tiniest speck of blood right there, see? And one right there. So, little weeper. Although, you know, I occasionally get weepers with DEs anyways. I'm kind of talking a lot, and my lather dried out just a little bit, so I'm going to refresh that with a little water. Before we attack this section, which is always a problem section for me. So I've learned that I kind of got to go like this to get this. Which is a little different than with my DE. I can kind of just go straight this way and that way, any old direction I want. Not bad. We're getting there. We're getting there. So now this area I got to go up with my stroke. So I think I'll go left hand. always, reapply soap if you want to do another pass. Trying to drag a straight razor across your face dry is no fun. The residual slickness on this soap is great, but as the skin dries out and there's just no cushion there. So we got to reapply that soap. And as you can see, I kind of went that direction. Now I'm going that direction. And then the final spot on my chin is to go against the grain here. It's tricky. Yeah, it's tricky. Bear in mind, I'm a complete amateur at straight razor shaving. And, my video should be taken with a grain of salt. If I make mistakes, please forgive me. Feel free to leave me suggestions in the comments. If you are an experienced straight razor user and you see me making some kind of a cardinal sin mistake, let me know. Put a little more soap there. This is the area that gives me the most trouble, is the chin, under the chin here, this little jawline section. Trying to, get those spots is always the hardest. What I've learned works for me is a lot of cross the grain strokes rather than trying to always go against the grain. You prevent the razor from skipping. A lot less chance you're going to cut yourself. So the only thing left really is right in here. Not much feedback on those downstrokes now, so if I want to get that a little bit closer, I'm going to have to go up right here, diagonal, and hopefully I can kind of knock that spot down. It's always the spot that gives me the most trouble. Really not too bad. I find if I'm going over something and I'm hearing feedback, but I'm not, it doesn't feel like it's getting any smoother, check my angle. Increase that angle a little bit. If you're too flat with the razor, it just kind of goes over, it doesn't take anything off. So you got to check that angle a little bit. I had some soap in my nose. Why didn't you guys say something? That's good. I'm gonna call that a good shave right there. So if you can see, it's a smooth shave. You know, one little spot right here, I'm gonna hit it again. I didn't go this direction on that lower part of my left side of my neck, so. If you can see that stroke I'm doing, I had a guy that I saw, he, said it's like throwing a dart. It's like the motion you use when you throw a dart. If you, or like fishing maybe. Think of it as fishing. So you're just bending the wrist and the hand and kind of doing like a rotation with the razor along the skin. So that seems to help. As well. Boom, done. All right, so since we're already 42 minutes into this, I'm gonna call that good. If you stuck with me through that whole shave, you're a trooper, and you really wanted to see if I cut myself. So thanks for watching. I'll just kind of run down my procedure at the end. Is I'm just going to put on some Star Jelly, and that's going to soak in. I'm going to let that soak in and dry, and then I'll apply my splash afterwards. So thank you for watching. As always, be well, be blessed, and be kind to one another. Peace.